Good morning, folks. This is Patrick, Comics and Collectibles, and I want to give y'all an update on something that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, and I'm not sure which one. I've been making so many surrounding this subject lately. It could have been a standalone video, and maybe I did not give it a title. I'm not sure. At any rate, I may start a series surrounding this, or I might just tie this into the current series of videos I'm doing about cracking 3D models, or as a lot of folks on YouTube call it, exploding. I think that's a little exaggerated, but what I'm doing is going through my 3D model collection, looking for any models that have formed cracks, or any models that I need to fill with resin to make sure they don't crack in the future. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but I'll explain it later on in this video, or maybe in another video, depending on how long this video runs. First, what I want to talk about here, folks, is that stain right there. I have been going through my collection, like I said, and part of that collection is right here in front of us right now. This is a very small part, by the way. I put them out here to activate the resin. I don't know if that's correct terminology for 3D model makers, but in my mind, and okay, one thing I want to clarify, I'm not a 3D model expert or anything like that. All right, I'm learning about 3D models. I know very little about it. So if you know something about this that I'm missing, or something I got wrong, please let me know. Leave a comment. All right, so in my mind, as a novice 3D model person, I'm thinking, okay, if some of these could possibly still have resin in them, and if the heat activates that resin and makes it, I don't know, makes it soft or liquefied, then I'm thinking, maybe if I expose these to heat, if there is some resin inside still, the heat will make them come out. So I've put several of my models out here in the garage. They've been out here for maybe a day or two. I came out this morning and that's what I found. That came from one of my 3D models. I want to say this real quick. Maybe this is a dumb idea. Maybe this is stupid to do this, because I could expose these models to cracking if they get heated up. I think that's how it works. But I'm thinking I'd rather do it this way, put it in a safe environment, so that if there is some resin inside, and if it leaks out, I'd rather have it leak out right here in this safe environment than to have it on display on a nice shelf, or maybe on some books, or on something of value, and have this stuff leak out on that and ruin that. So I'd rather risk losing a $100 cut tattoo. Okay, I would rather risk losing a $100 model than risk losing a, I don't know, a $400 table, or an expensive shelf, or maybe have this stuff leak onto a $2,000 statue or something like that. So that's my reasoning. That's my way of thinking about stuff, and I'm different. All right, so that's it, folks. I am continuing to go through my 3D models, and what I'm doing, even take two, what I'm doing right now is drilling. You probably can't see it, but I'm trying to find a safe spot on my models where I can drill a hole into them and fill them with resin. And since we're talking about resin, let's go ahead and talk about something I have been thinking about for a while, and I'm going to experiment here. I will be mixing some resin. Hold on, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I will be experimenting with mixing resin and Plaster of Paris. I'm doing this because this stuff right here, as you know, is expensive. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can not expand, but stretch this out. I guess I can put it that way. If I add some plaster of Paris to this, that's going to give me more volume, and volume is what I need to fill some of these 3D models. Also, I think that I will be using it on this. As you know, if you've seen any of my other videos about this quirky Cornish bust, you know that I have been trying to figure out a way to fill some of this up. I'm not going to try to fill the entire thing. That requires too much. But if I can get enough just to fill this crack, see what a crack is? Crack runs, actually it's not a crack. It started cracking and I cut it, but that's a whole nother video. Go ahead and check that out. Right here, it comes up. So if I can just fill maybe that part, just fill it enough to cover that crack and secure that, and then I won't have to fill the whole thing. I'm trying not to fill the whole thing. That's too much epoxy. I'm sorry, that's too much resin, which equals cut take two, which equates to a lot of money. So I'm trying to cut back. So by combining these two, hopefully they work together. I can save some money and it will do the job that I require it to do with these models. All right, that's it for now, folks. I'm going to jump into this. It's still cool in my garage. I got about 5 or 6 here I'm trying to fill with resin before it gets too hot. So make sure you come back if you're interested in this type of stuff. Come back, check it out, see how things turn out. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Now I need to find a decent thumbnail. I think that's a pretty picture right there. Two faces only a mother could love. It may be this guy. Let's see. That's a cool creature right there. That might work. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty gruesome. All right. Hopefully I have a thumbnail somewhere in here. All right, folks, that's it. Thank you.